All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. We're here to look at some new features and updates for Toy Tactics. I'm Caleb.
I'm Michal.
We are from the YouTube channel Should You Play It? And we are here to talk with Antonio from Kraken Empire. And Antonio, we're very excited to learn more about your game. We've enjoyed what we've seen so far. And how do you feel about the new update that's coming? Has it been really stressful to get to this point on time?
Yeah, it's always stressful to release anything because you always have a few bugs here and there. You always have something that is unfinished, and we are kind of perfectionists, so we want everything to be perfect, and it's very difficult. We have like 12 hours of gameplay already, so it's very difficult for a small team to keep the 12 hours interesting without bugs and and everything working perfectly as we want.
Yeah, I can imagine that it's looking at the list of just bugs and fixes that you are applying for this new update. I can imagine that it's an enormous amount of work. Well, before we get into the new features and what's new in this update, we were both really interested in this mechanic of being able to draw the formations, which is like the core of Toy Tactics, that we found to be quite unique. Can you tell us anything about how you came up with this idea and how difficult it was to make it a reality in the game?
The idea comes from some old strategy books, these kind of books that showed you all the battles from Romans or from Alexander the Great or something like that. And these kind of battles that are drawn in a kind of map, and there are some arrows showing the maneuvers of the armies in the battle. So this kind of, I don't know, Alexander went with his cavalry to the right and then attracted the phalanx, and then the archers attacked on the other flank. So this kind of drawings with arrows showing the maneuvers of the war. And I wanted to do something like that for some kind of gameplay in that direction. So the first thing I tried was something like that, like kind of drawing the maneuvers, the movements of the formations on the ground. But that was not so interesting at the end, because how they move is not so important for strategy. So at the end, I found that drawing the formations, the shape of the formation is much more interesting for strategy than drawing the direction of the movement of the formation. So that's how the mechanic started. We started moving formations with drawings, and then we finished drawing the formations themselves.
But the idea is one thing, but was it really difficult to make it? Because we never seen it in another game, so you could not refer it, you could not see anywhere else. So was it technically difficult to do it?
It's very difficult to do. I guess that's why it's never been done before. Sorry, I think I have broken the window because I didn't want to do this. I changed to, sorry. I changed the resolution, I don't know how. Okay, I think I need to go back to the main menu. Okay, technically it's very difficult to implement because right now we have a lot of different systems trying to do all these things, all this AI to make what you're supposed to do or what the units are supposed to do, depending on the player, because the player is going to decide what to do. It's going to draw the formations on the ground, and then all the units need to form in a specific way to follow the formation or the drawing of the player. So we have a lot of different systems to be able to do that. The first one is related with creating the points the units are going to move to follow the formation. The second one is to move the closest unit to the closest point. But you have 100 units and you have 100 points, and it's very difficult to know which unit needs to go to which point to keep the movement at a minimum. So the total distance of all the units moving have to be the minimum distance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
not this unit to the closest point, because the other unit is going to travel a long time to reach its position. So you need to make a very strong calculation. We're using an algorithm that's called the Hungarian algorithm, and it's a very complex algorithm to do that, but that's important too. And then we make the control of the formations. It's a very specific control because we try to keep the formation together. So we're going to move the formation. The formation is kind of a unit too. So when you give an order to the formation is going to move progressively, and the velocity of the formation is going to depend on how formed is the formation, how far away the units are from their final destinations. So if the units are not formed, the formation is going to wait for the units, and when the units are close enough, the formation is going to start moving, so that they all try to move together. Okay, you have seen playing the game that it's very interesting, but sometimes it can feel a bit slow, and if some unit gets stuck, it's going to slow the rest, and these kind of things I like a lot, because they add a lot to the chaos of the battle, and to the better you draw, the better your units are going to behave. But people don't seem to like this kind of micromanagement so much, because sometimes it's kind of uncontrollable. Okay, so it's kind of the game is based on physics too. So the physics with this kind of control and AI and everything makes the game very interesting and very chaotic to get into. So I think it's part of the interesting thing you can play in toy tactics, but it's kind of you have to accept it first, I think.
Yeah. As we're talking about it, maybe people are watching who haven't tried the game yet. So maybe you could show us some of the gameplay, maybe towards the beginning of the game, just to show the formation shaping mechanisms, and we'll definitely have more questions to ask you.
Okay. Yeah, I can. This is. Sorry, this is the. I'm going to go back to the menu. No, I'm going to because this is a mission. I'm going to load a game with a few battles.
I think that was the tutorial mission.
Yeah, because that's. Oh no, I don't have games here, I think. Because this is I have all the games played in my development build, not in the Steam build.
So we will have definition.
I don't know if I can from the map.
If you can't, then maybe we can go to the customized battle, because there you can still add it as well.
Yeah, if it's just for demonstration, you could go to one of the puzzle levels or creative mode.
Yeah, I can show you now. Okay, now it's we have the cheats to unlock everything, so I can show you.
Okay. Okay.
I can show you anything right now. I'm going to show you maybe this one. Yeah. Okay. This is the third mission, the Roman Empire. Yes, still. This is the first time you see the spells in the main game. But now I have nothing equipped or anything, so it's just the formations and the units. So this is what we were talking about, the drawing formations. You can, at any time, you can use this brush to draw any formation on the ground. So you can, you can use this kind of arrow formation to break a formation. You can use, some surround formation to surround all the units and make more damage. Units are going to spread. You can see here what I explained before. They spread and then they move. I'm going to get a bit back. So now, for example, now that everything is, they are all surrounded, you can close the lateral units into the main. They are only infantry, so maybe they're not going to survive so long. But you can make these kind of maneuvers in a very easy way that maybe for another kind of games can be very difficult to manage. They didn't survive so long to make this for this to be interesting, because we have a very big group. Oh, they're attacking my queen. I'm going to get these archers down. The archers on the towers have bonus to attack and everything, so you have to get them down as fast as possible because they shoot longer and faster. So they're kind of dangerous.
And actually, when we played the game, we didn't reach the limit, but we know that one of the new features is increasing the longer to 500 meters will be allowed in the new update. So that's going to be a lot of army,
big formations,
Because we haven't reached the limit, so we don't know how much is it now. Can you tell us how much is it now?
There's no limit right now. I think the limit. I think the limit is kind of 10 kilometers drawing, and the map is kind of 500 meters wide.
Okay.
So 10 kilometers is kind of drawing everything. So
so it means
that's enough.
If you draw like a straight line, more than 500 meters or something, does it mean that even if there's 4 or 5 troops, that they will spread out over that entire line?
Yeah, the amount of ink depends on the amount of units you have. So usually you have the amount of ink appropriate to make this kind of line of units formed, because making the units spread in all the line makes no sense. But if units right now with the drawing you have die, they're going to spread along the line. So you can see that kind of behavior. Yeah, the idea is that the units you have are trying to use all the line or all the drawing.
Yeah, and we see also what you were talking about of the physics of the game, of how troops and objects are interacting in a very dynamic and kind of exaggerated way. So what made you think of and want to add that element? Because already the formation shaping is something quite new, and I think it's something extra to decide, okay, I want it to be a very heavily based physics game with lots of crazy reactions. What was your motivation there, and what do you think it adds to the game?
We Dragon Empire, we love physics. Our previous game was a physics-based game. It was called Chromaya. It's a space simulation game, and you didn't need the physics for that game either, but it added a lot to the feeling of piloting in space, because you move the spaceship by applying forces in the ship. And it was a very interesting idea, and we love the idea to use physics in a very deep way for the gameplay, in a way that makes sense for a gameplay and makes the world more credible, more real for the player. So we try to apply that into this game from the beginning. I created a demo with this kind of gameplay, with units moving and formations and attacking, and units flying around when they die and something like that. Kind of Asterix on Obelix. That was one of the references for that too. And when this was like 7 years ago right now, okay, I created a first prototype, very small, with just the main gameplay. And then I think 1 year later or 2 years later, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator appeared, and someone told me they have copied your idea. This is the same thing you sold me. It was not the same, but it was blue against red too in my game, and it was this kind of silly gameplay with a lot of things happening. So it was kind of the same idea, but I think that game tries to do the same I do. It's using physics in a meaningful way to create a gameplay that makes sense. In our game in particular, it's a very interesting way. You can see units pushing each other, keeping the line, and so everything makes sense with the tone and the drawing and everything. But of course, it adds a lot of. I think my queen died.
Not yet, but she's in danger. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. What was the same? Okay. Yeah, they try to use this physics in a meaningful way so that the gameplay depends on the physics, but in our game adds a lot of chaos into the battles, and that's good because it's very interesting. But it's a danger. It's dangerous too, because sometimes you lose the control. Okay, and that's something you need to prevent trying to evaluate the situation and use the formations to avoid that. Try to keep always control and try to set formations and positions that are strong enough to survive, I don't know, the push of the cavalry, the archers pushing you with their arrows or anything, or the spells from the enemies. So it's I think it's a very important part of the gameplay, and it does a lot. In fact, one funny thing that happened 1 year ago is that we lost physics. I don't know what happened, but from one day to another, I don't know, there was a bug, and the units were not pushing each other, and it was very funny to see the same game that you have played for months, and just seeing the units coming and attacking like this and doing nothing and not pushing and anything was kind of boring. Kind of where's the soul of this game? It's kind of they're doing nothing, just go to the distance and attack, die, attack, die. It's kind of what's makes no fun, no interesting things happening. So we realized again that we needed that to make the game interesting, and that made us to make physics even more cartoonish and everything flying around even more and even more crazy things and asteroids falling down and everything exploding and all the things you have seen in the game, and it made even more sense from that point.
And we would actually like to ask which games did you inspired you of making Toy Tactics, because to us this game we can't actually quite fit it. Maybe you played different games than us, because the games we play shaped us. So which games shaped your mind when you were creating the game?
I think the first game that is my first reference for this is chess. I am a chess player, and if you see the units, you can see we have 6 units like in chess. We have the infantry that are the pawns. You have the archers that are the bishops. We have the cavalry, or the knights, these heroes that are the rooks, the big units, and you have queen and king that are king and queen. In this game, if you lose your leaders, you lose the game, just like in chess. So if right now I have a king, but I have no queen in this level. So if I lose the king, I lose the battle. Okay. This is a defense map, so I need to defend this area. So if I lose this area, I lose the mission chip. Yeah. So the first reference I think is chess for many things, and then from other games, I think strategy games. I played everything from I was a child, from Command and Conquer to Warcraft, and I don't know, anything you can think of. Commandos. I don't know you know the Spanish game. A lot of strategy games that are very interesting, but I don't feel they are so deep as chess. Chess is very, very, very deep, and it has a perfect combination of strategy and tactics. So this game is not intended to be deeper than chess, for example. This is intended just to make a first approach for newcomers to the genre, or for people that want to try this drawing mechanic. So we're trying to appeal everyone for one thing or another. We're making very difficult puzzles just to show that the shapes of the formations are very important if you want to go to the detail and kill everyone or not losing any unit or something like that. But the idea of this game is not being so deep, but I feel like the RTS games in PC are kind of domination games. You construct, build an army until it is big enough so that you can destroy the enemy, just rush all the enemy army, and that's kind of boring. It's funny for the first time, it's funny for the first 2 hours, but at the end it's kind of a kind of easy strategy, just survive, and then destroy everything. So I wanted to do that different thing. This is kind of a total war approach. You have the units from the beginning. Try to not to lose your units, because you are not going to get much more of them. Maybe you have reinforcements or something like that, but you have limited resources you have to keep, and let's see what you can do with that. Okay, let's see if you can beat this challenge. In this case, this is kind of Thermopilas. This is kind of 300 map. Oh, I need to retire because I don't have spells. And that are just attacking me. So I need to go back.
And you were talking about the puzzle thing, because actually each of the maps, it is kind of presented as a puzzle. You have this limited number of troops and you need to figure out the best way to solve the puzzle. But you also have the mode of just kind of tactical puzzles. Does this update add any additional levels to those other modes, like the puzzle mode, for example?
I can show you the. We are the idea with the puzzle mode is to make a hardcore mode into this kind of crazy simple game, because we don't want to make the levels so difficult. We tried, instead of using this kind of difficulty levels, instead of selecting if you want to play easy, hard, or anything, we added this kind of 3 objectives to accomplish. If you accomplish then the first one is kind of okay, you completed the level, you can go to the next. Okay, but the next 2 objectives are kind of okay, these are more difficult to achieve, and you need to achieve the 3 at the same time to get the 3 stars that you can use later to buy spells. Okay, so we have this kind of dynamic level of difficulty, so that you can play without so many challenges and try to achieve every objective possible, but sometimes you fail 1 or 2, and that's not the problem. But this challenge mode is kind of okay, I'm going to show you puzzles that maybe you don't know how to solve for the first time, and you need to learn something every time you accomplish one of these. Okay, so when you finish all these puzzles, you can see we have changed this interface. So now you have you are going to have puzzles for this is kind of tutorial, and there are going to be specific puzzles for Roman units, for medieval units, and for every army. Okay, so this is I can show you, for example, the first one is easy. This one is kind of difficult. This is just the second level. Okay, I can't read this, very small is my screen. Okay, this is a very difficult level for the second puzzle, because you have 27 units and you have to fight against 30, and it's kind of okay, how do you beat the same units you have? You can try any shape, and probably you're going to lose all the time. Okay? So the idea is, what is the proper strategy to apply here to beat the enemy army? How do you beat with less units than the enemy? How do you beat them? You can see how my units are falling faster than his. And I don't know if you could know that there's something that's called the Lanchester's law. It's something you apply in battles. I don't want to bore you because because these strategy things are kind of complex. But the idea is that if you are 2 versus 1, probably you are 1 and you can kill one of the other guys, but the other is going to kill you. So 2 versus 1, you are going to lose, but you are going to kill 1. But if you are 1 against 100, you are going to kill no one, because everyone is going to hit you before you can even do something. So it is what happens here. If you lose the advantage at the beginning, if you lose units, the situation is even worse. If you are 30 against 27, you are bad. But if it's 30 or 29 against 26, it's worse. And 28 against 24, and you're losing units faster than him, so you're going to lose, for sure. Okay. So how do you beat a puzzle like this one? What would you do?
I would be thinking of trying to draw some units out.
Sorry, I changed puzzle. I need to. I don't know if I can go back.
I don't know if the enemy units would all react to their colleagues, but maybe if it's possible to draw a few of the units towards you and surround them and defeat them and pick them off from the herd. This would be my first experiment, to try to draw a few away at first and to retreat and to pull them into a trap.
Yeah, but something like this.
I think to get just close enough that a few of them notice, but maybe then the entire unit will attack. Yeah,
the problem is that if you sacrifice the units, as you have no advantage, as they're all infantry, You could use this kind of tactics if you have, for example, archers, and you can lure them into a trap with archers and kill units because you have the archers and making a lot of damage because they are close. But right now, as they have to fight sword against sword, they have no so much advantage to do something like this. Maybe you can spread them a bit, but all the time these are not attacking. This is a problem too. So we're going to try to get them into the battle, but this is probably going to lose too. Yeah, you can see 9 against 22, 6 against 21.
Right.
So
It's going to be a bit better than before.
Yeah, yeah. The more you spread the units, probably it's going to be even worse. Yeah, and if you sacrifice any unit, as it's going to die, and then you're even worse, it's going to be a problem.
Then I would be thinking of making a horseshoe and trying to very quickly surround on 3 sides the first units that come up to pick them off as quickly as possible and to kind of try to eat the line of enemy troops as they are attacking.
Okay, now we're talking. Something like this will be enough. Okay. What's the idea of this? I'm going to get the first 3 and I'm going to destroy them because I'm going to hit them with a lot of units at the same time, and I'm going to recover my advantage. Now I'm 27. I'm less than them, but I'm going to try to get up as soon as possible. So I'm going to try to attack to the most of them at the same time with most of my units, so I can kill them as fast as possible.
Keeping them inside that horseshoe. Yeah.
So that's my only option here. I don't know if this is going to work in this case because you have to adapt the drawing, and the units have spread to the right, so they have broken my formation.
It's closer, yeah, but they managed. They got around maybe the horseshoe needs to be a little bit wider.
Yeah, and I probably need to change shape when I get close. But you can see that only 3 units of difference, and the puzzle is kind of difficult to complete. Okay, so once you manage this and you are able to beat this kind of puzzle, you have a different view of the game. Just a few puzzles in, and you're going to discover that the formations are much more important than you think, or that you think just looking at the videos or something. And this is going to get crazy. Okay. I have this. Maybe this is a simpler example of same, but this is still a hardcore game, a hardcore puzzle. I can pause the game. Sorry, because this is kind of puzzle, so you don't have time to think. You lose and try again. You have 30 units against 40 units, but they are on the flanks, so they're going to destroy you. If they reach you like this, they're going to leave nothing from you. They're going to destroy everything. So how did you act in this situation?
So I would act fast and go either to the left or right. So first I have like advantage of number.
Right.
And I would go as far to the side as possible.
That's called force concentration. Okay, so you use all your units in one weak point, in this case this formation. And the idea is not only that, I don't know if...
But I would also change the shape.
Yeah. It's better to try to destroy as many as possible, as fast as possible before these ones reach you. So we need to try to kill them fast, so that we are able to beat both at the same time.
But you got surrounded,
I waited a couple of seconds, so that's good. You can see these are kind of very hardcore puzzles, so they're very different from the game. The game is kind of easy and joyful, and you have to play with everything. And this is kind of punishing any mistake and every small thing you miss. So you have to play this very seriously to be able to succeed. So this is kind of a hardcore gameplay mode.
And I wanted to ask, back in the extras menu, what is the mercenaries mode, and when do you think that will be launched?
Mercenaries mode it should be launched for September, I think. Around September, we should be launching mercenaries. We have. I'm going to show you. We have the sandbox that's do anything you want. Kind of. I don't know what I'm doing. I can speak in English and and play at the same time. Sorry.
That's
This is
understandable.
sandbox.
We
also.
wouldn't be able to do it.
This is sandbox, so you can do anything. You can place units from any kind and make them battle. For example, I can place catapults here. I can place, I don't know, witches. These are the medieval queens. I can change the player, and I can place units for the other player. I don't know, like T-Rexes.
Mm-hmm.
And velociraptors. Oh no, these are explosive T-Rexes. Sorry, they're very small in my screen. Sorry. Okay, these are velociraptors. Okay, so you can play anything and then start the battle, and they are going to just fight. You can control your units, so you can still make some kind of maneuvers here, and the enemy is going to chase you and destroy you at the first hands. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we change this mode and maybe you have the ability to control the enemy units too, or to not control nor yours and nor the enemy units. I don't know if that's going to be an option too. So that's still open, but you can see you can create very crazy battles here.
So this is, it looks even closer to the tabs
Oh yeah.
approach.
Yeah, because tabs is kind of a sandbox at the end.
Yeah.
So anything that's kind of sandboxy is kind of tabs. The mercenaries mode is even more close to tabs. Okay, you're going to. I can't show you because we have nothing public of this. I just wanted to show you the line, more than 500 meters line.
Oh wow, that's a long formation.
Yeah, you can. Too many units, too many drones.
So basically, as long as you want, yeah.
Yeah, you can draw the full map. We have 10 kilometers of drawing, so it makes no sense at the end. So it's kind of a lot of units.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of units.
Yeah. Probably
That's an army.
I've seen some computers crash with this because we have no limit of units either.
Yeah.
So the more powerful your computer is, the more units you can place here.
Okay.
But it's going to crash at some point. This is still working pretty well. I'm going to add
Probably like 500 units there right now.
oh yeah, we have 2,000 units.
2,000. Okay.
Wow.
2001
That's
units.
a lot.
It says, and
Yes,
it's
that's a
still
whole
working. I can drag
Okay.
Oh wow.
Okay.
all the units. Maybe it's going to crash. I don't know. So you can place some, I don't know, some watches to fire. Oh, sorry, this is mine. Enemy your watches. Okay, the other side. There's no place. You can place watches here, so we can, and then play.
Oh wow.
I can attack the watches. Okay.
And some
Yeah.
big battles.
Units are going to take a lot of time to calculate this. The problem is this formation I said before. I'm going to stop this. It's kind of crazy.
So you have actually a lot of single player modes. You have the campaign, you have the sandbox, you have not short number as I saw, if I counted correctly. 12 times 6, so 70 puzzles. And you're planning multiplayer. Can you tell us more about which kind of mode will be the multiplayer? Is it going to be like co-op or against each other? What are you thinking about multiplayer?
We know there's going to be a versus mode, but I don't know if there's going to be a cooperative mode, because that's going to depend on the amount of units we can manage at the same time. You can see we have a lot of units at the same time. It's going to work, but I don't know what's the requirements on the connection, the connection limit. You have to move, I don't know, 1,000 units. So depending on that, maybe we can make a cooperative mode that's interesting with enough units moving at the same time. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. So I can't promise a cooperative mode, but we should be able to do it.
And the versus mode
is going to be for real.
Are you planning for it to just be 1 versus 1, or would you like to have multiple people be able to join the versus?
For now, just 1 versus 1, and that's because of logistics, and it's going to be easier. But strategy makes no sense in 2 versus 2 or everyone against everyone. In fact, going back to chess, there are modes in 2 versus 2 and 4 all against everyone, and they're kind of crazy. It's interesting. We call them anti-chess because they are the opposite of chess. It's kind of a different game, a different situation. In usual RTSs, you have this kind of collecting resources and growing your army faster than the rest to be able to destroy them. But in this case, as you have no resources and you have the units you started with, the players that attack each other are going to be destroyed by the rest very easily. So it makes not so much sense to play 4 or 3 or anything.
Right.
So probably we are going to stay with the 1 versus 1, and probably we'll try this cooperative mode that could be interesting.
But still, I can imagine that this will be really fun to be able to face off someone who is also changing the formations and like trying to flank you all the time. This would be, I think, a very dynamic and exciting way to play the game.
And it will be a lot harder because if you play versus, you can't pause the time. So that could be fun.
Right. But
it's going to be difficult. I don't know who's going to win in that case because it's going to be hard to manage.
Yeah, it has to be in real time. Yeah, as Mikhail said, you don't have any control over the timing of things.
But it fits the theme of the game, which is like a little bit crazy and units bumping into each other.
Crazy, chaotic, tactical. Yeah. And speaking of being more challenging with human players, but you said in this update there are some changes to the AI, especially about pathfinding, and also that the AI will now try to keep the battlefront more, but I'm not quite sure what that means. So can you say more about the update to the AI?
Yeah, just one thing I didn't end of explaining before, the mercenaries mode. Just for you to know, just for answering the question, the idea with the mercenaries mode is kind of puzzles, kind of the challenges we have here, but you're going to buy the units at the beginning. So kind of totally like about the simulator, you have a puzzle you have to solve, but you're going to solve it by buying your units and then moving them, using the maneuvers. So it's going to be both at the same time. Okay, how do I beat this puzzle? How do I beat this level? And with which units I should do it. Okay, so if there are a lot of archers, you can use cavalry. If there are a lot of heroes, maybe you need to use archers. So it's going to depend on that. Okay, so that's going to be interesting to play, but we need to set the right challenges so that is interesting enough. Like with the challenges, maybe the current challenges we have, maybe they are too hardcore. We wanted to appeal the hardcore players and show you that we have a very hardcore mode, and this game is not only about toys attacking, but you have very hardcore strategy going down, so you can play with that. But we need to still talk with the community and see what they think of all these modes that are kind of crazy right now, just kind of experimental. Okay, about the AI you asked before. Okay, we have improved pathfinding. We always need to do that because, as I told before, I enjoyed a lot that units, get stuck in a tree and try to jump or move around or something, or kind of silly units. That's kind of you always try to correct. You can even pass your units with your cursor. You click with the cursor and you can push them. So it's interesting to play with physics here. But people don't like that so much. The first time maybe it's funny, but the second time when you're losing your units and that one is stuck in a tree, people get frustrated, and that's not funny for anyone. So we are trying to make pathfinding not perfect, but improve it a bit, just to avoid units getting stuck or units getting down I don't know into the lava and getting killed. So we're going to try to make the pathfinding interesting, but as responsive as possible. Okay. And about this thing you said before, that keeping the line of battle, it has to do with the formations and the drawings. The idea is when you draw a line and you draw this kind of line and you try to fight another line that's coming on the other side. Before in the previous version, the units kind of crushed the other formation and kind of mixed, and they kind of were all together fighting each other, and you couldn't see the battle line. You couldn't see where's the conflict, because there was all mixed and it was kind of a mess. So we're trying to we have improved that a lot, but I don't know if it's enough. Maybe we have to do even more things, but we're trying to keep the units at the underside so that units push and attack but keep their position. So that if they go to the other side of their past, they're going to try to recover the original position, so that you always have a battle line that's going to allow you to, for example, retire. You can get back from battle, and that's going to, you need to have units on your side to do that. Or you can surround and you can get cavalry on the backwards, and you are going to attack all the units on the backwards because they are going to be their units and not your units in the middle. So keeping the line of battle is interesting for this kind of gaming, which lines and drawings and formations are so important.
Yeah, it makes sense. And maybe one of the most important parts of this new update, and maybe we're saving the best for almost for last, but the bosses that you're adding to the end of each campaign. What can you show us or tell us about the boss battles? Yeah,
the boss battles, it's not very common in strategy games to have boss battles.
It's true.
But with physics, it's so interesting to add a big unit that's going to destroy everything and send everything flying, that we wanted to do it, and it was a very interesting challenge for us. We have a very interesting gameplay, I think, but as everything in our game is going to need fine-tuning again and again and again until it feels perfect. But you're going to understand the bosses as soon as you see them, I think. We want this kind of okay, you have seen a lot of challenges to this point, you have battled a lot of armies and everything, but now this is a real challenge. You have a big unit. What do you do? Again, you're going to see the size of the boss, because
it's a lot bigger than
wow.
used to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks scary.
Units look at you all the time. So it's
he looks there.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah, and you can push them, but this is not working with this because it's too heavy.
It's too big.
I can push my archers so that you see it. I can push this archer. Can click and push it. So physics are, my units look at me too, so you can see. Kind of breaking the fourth wall too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not going to tell you the story because the story is kind of complex, and I want to surprise the players playing against the bosses, because they have a very strong part in the story of the game. Okay, I'm not going to tell that. You're going to just battle. So at the beginning they are pacific, they are not going to attack you, but as soon as you attack them, they're going to get aggressive.
Oh boy.
And destroy it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Yep, he's angry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Maybe you need to retire. Here, maybe you have to do what you said before. Maybe you want to split your units in several formations and try to surround and keep your turn and attack, because as he's going to make this kind of area damage, if you have too many units in the same position, maybe you're going to receive a lot of damage. So maybe you want to separate the units and sacrifice just a bit, because it's going to be very destructive. It has several phases, so we have made like 1/3 of the damage. Now units are going to appear. You need to replant because now archers are going to be attacked. and you can build some catapults. You can see here as the Roman Empire is building things and is building catapults and towers and everything. Oops. He has built a wall to protect himself. Now we need to survive, destroy the units, make some space here, construct my catapults, and then attack again. Whoops, attack coming. Explosive pigs.
So you're planning to have, or I guess you already have, 5 bosses for the end of each of the 5 campaigns. So based on the culture that particular campaign is fighting.
Yeah, this is Hercules. This is the Roman leader, the Roman boss, and I can tell you the story. And yeah, each one of the bosses is going to be one hero of the related with the army, and it's going to use your spells against you.
Okay.
That's something that doesn't happen in the game. So this is the only unit that's going to use the spells against you, and you're going to use the spells against him. And yeah, this is Hercules. This is kind of a strong unit that's going to attack you and destroy you. I can show you the rest, but I'm not going to show you the full gameplay.
Yeah, of course.
But you can see them going to surround here.
And actually, if we go back to the menu, we have noticed that in your build there's not only campaign, but there's a play demo, and we know that you're planning to release a demo. So I think that's what the viewers are probably the most interesting, because they look at the game, they think they might like it, but they don't know. So when should they expect a demo coming out, and what is it going to be in a demo? I expect there will be like 2 or 3 missions in a campaign.
Yeah, it's interesting because the demo is already live, so you can play it right now. And it's a new demo we have. We had a demo a few months ago, and it was the same demo we were bringing to the events. And it was a very interesting demo, but it was kind of the 3 first levels of the campaign. Probably you have played them. The first level is kind of dragging formations. The second level is about drawing formations. And the third level is just spells and do whatever you want. You have all the tools. You can do anything. Okay. So it was we at the expos and at the events and everything. We saw this kind of demo, but it was kind of boring for an event, because people want to experiment the full game in 10 minutes, and they spend like half an hour. They could only try infantry, king, and they haven't seen. They played half an hour. They have tried one spell. They have tried infantry, king. They know nothing about the game still. So we have created a new demo that's 10 minutes and try everything. So you are given infantry. Use the infantry skilled, then you receive heroes. So you have the big units, you attack with the big units, you destroy everything, but then you have a lot of archers, and your heroes can go through the archers, so they die, and you are given cavalry. So you're seeing every kind of troops and every kind of situations in just 5 minutes. So you can try 4 different spells for free. They reload themselves automatically, so you can try a lot of throwing spells all the time. And at the end there is a big battle, so you try everything in 5 minutes.
So it means there's a special level for the demo version.
Yeah,
to try out everything.
It's similar to the second level, kind of, but it's a bit longer. You have this kind of side quest of the bridge, so that you can learn how to split your formation in 2, to press a button while the other group is going to go through the bridge. So we have a lot of things going on in that level, so you can replay 2 or 3 times easily, but you can see the full game in 5 minutes. So you're going to discover if you like the game or not very fast.
And that new demo, is that live now, or that is coming with the new update?
It's live now for free in the Steam. Yep.
And that will be available forever, as long as it's in early access.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. That's definitely something we will promote to our viewers because, of course, we've made a review of the game and gameplay, but our viewers definitely like to get their hands on a game before buying it. So that's a great way for us to promote the game to them as well. We'll talk about that. Perfect. Well, I think that's the main questions that we wanted to ask you. I wonder if there's anything that you think we missed that you want to make sure that you talk about with the new update and potentially what's coming next in a few months with Toy Tactics.
Oh yeah, we have made a lot of improvements. Our main focus is to make the game fun and interesting. We have changed a lot of things that probably nobody is going to notice. Maybe even if you have played the game, it's very difficult to see if something has changed or not because there are a lot of things going on at the same time. So our only concern is for the game to be funny, interesting, and to learn strategy in a very easy way. So we expect everyone to try the game and tell us what they think, if they enjoy the game, if they want to play more, what they like the most, what they like the least. These are the samurai units. They are hidden on the fog. And so
I remember this. Yeah, I liked that campaign. Yeah,
it's kind of a stealth campaign. So we try to with the same mechanic of that drawing, so you can draw anything at the same time. But units are going to be hidden on the fog. So you play this kind of a stealthy game, but just the same like before. You're just drawing around and moving your units just by drawing. You have to be careful when drawing because you don't have to go through the areas that are without fog or something like that. But it's a very easy way to play in a different with different spells, with different abilities, with different everything, and but keep the main mechanic that's always drawing. We have the Roman Empire that's building and fire. We have the medieval empire that's ice and magic. The king is able to mutate when you join the king with other units. You can get the king into a horse and move it fast to anywhere, and then get down and use it as a big archer, something like that. So it's pretty interesting. We have the samurai, that's the stealthy campaign. So you can hide in the fog, you can make ambushes and use venom and deceive the enemies. It's kind of every time deceiving your enemies. We have the pirates that are going to be released next month.
That sounds cool.
And it's going to be about gunpowder. So every unit is long range, so you have to play with that too. And the skeleton army, that's going to be the final campaign, and it's going to be about necromancy and rising the dead. So you get the corpses from the dead and you rise them again as your units. So it's kind of a different approach too. So we try to do the same mechanics with different armies, different ways to win battles and to solve puzzles. Mm-hmm. This is the samurai boss.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. A geisha boss. Geisha boss. That's really cool. And I have to ask, maybe the last question looking forward. I know you're probably 100% deep in the development of Toy Tactics, but all of these mechanics that you've developed, especially for this game, do you think that you will, after Toy Tactics is finished, that you will use some of those mechanics in the next game that you develop, that you'll be carrying those things forward? Because I would love to see some of these mechanics applied in also different environments and different types of RTS games.
I would love to. I think you can use this drawing mechanic for anything. You could play a football game with drawing mechanic. So it's I think it's a very interesting way to play games in a very approachable way, because the idea with this game was to lower the entry barrier to RTS games. Instead of making a 2-hour tutorial that's kind of boring, we wanted to make a game that's very easy to approach for people that's new to the genre. In this case, new to the RTS genre. But I think you can do this with any kind of game with this kind of mechanics. This drawing mechanic, anything that's approachable and easy to do. That's sketching things on the ground or on the level or something. Allows you for a very easy gameplay to anything. I don't know. You could manage a football match, a basketball match, any sport or anything. You could plan a robbery. You could manage a gang of anything. You could, I don't know, you can do anything with drawing. So we would love to apply this kind of mechanics into a lot of different genres.
It's really interesting. So where can people who are interested in following the development of Toy Tactics and your future games, what is the best place for them to get news about that? Like your most active social media sites or places for news?
I think the easiest way to get to us is Twitter and Discord. We have a server on Discord, and we work on Discord, so we are all day connected. So we have our development server, and we have a Toy Tactics server. So if anyone joins Toy Tactics server and says anything, we are going to be there. All the developers are connected to that server, so it's very easy to approach us through Discord. But we are active in Twitter, in Facebook, in Instagram, TikTok. We are everywhere.
Great. So anyone who's interested in staying in touch with Kraken Empire and knowing what's coming next, please follow them on your platform of choice. You can also subscribe to and follow Should You Play It for more information about especially the free games on Epic Game Stores and things like that, but also demos of reviews of games that have a very unique element to them, much like Toy Tactics. So we hope to see you in some other content, either through Kraken Games or through Should You Play It. Antonio, thank you very much for giving us time to look at this new update. It's been really interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, for your attention, and for playing the game.
And we want to encourage everyone now to play the new demo version, because we tried it, we like it, and we think it's an underrated game that more people should know about.
It's something really special. I'm also we're both also big fans of the real-time strategy genre, and this is something really new that I think could transform the genre. So everyone should check this out.